Chris from TechMedic here with a outdoor power cord protection box. This one is the Schutz box. There's plenty of different brands out there. Stanley makes them. There's several different makers. Long story short, if you're working outdoors with electricity, I DJ sometimes, and every so often you have to have two cords plugged into each other. It's less than ideal, but I'll use a 100-foot extension cord, heavy gauge, going to the main outlet I'm working off of. I'll usually have that protected by a GFCI. This is not the 100-foot cord I use. It's actually a much heavier gauge. This is, I think, a 16 gauge. I use a 12 gauge 100-foot cord. Not cheap, but worth it for safety. Plugged into that, I'll have a surge strip or some sort of power distribution for all of my DJ equipment. If that gets unplugged, the whole show goes down. That's a bad day. You don't want your soundboard to crash, lose power. So this device here, you'll see there's rubber gaskets on the other side to keep water out of it. Keeps the cords off the ground a little bit, so if there is sudden rain, the water's not going to run into it. And also, there is a little tray in here. You'll see that there's grooves along the bottom, also along the top, that positively lock that tray in place. So once everything's set up and in place, and this closes, that tray's not going to move, so even if somebody trips and tries to pull this, it's going to take a lot of effort for these to actually come loose. You do want to make sure it's in there snugly, though, before you close it. And obviously, I had this open, I was just pulling by hand. If that's being held there and there by the case, those aren't going to spread. So it's a nice little safety feature, both for the safety of keeping water out of your connection, keeping children out of your connection, keeping your connection snug and tight so you're not going to have a short or anything of that nature. A cheap little device, great for safety, great for just reliability of your electrical connection for mission critical things like DJing or if you're in emergency services, etc.